Okay, so that seemed kind of ironic. As soon as I started recording, the sun just started beaming in through the window, and I thought, oh, that's ironic. Today's episode is about insecurities, and you're going to see my every blemish from that much lighting. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to boost confidence. I'm going to be focusing a lot on that postpartum window. It's right after we've had baby, really through those first months with baby. But I really know that confidence and dealing with our insecurities is something that starts early in life, goes through all of those adolescent years, young adulthood, and then certainly through this reproductive time of pregnancy and postpartum. So today I wanted to look at in the new mommy phase. And again, this could be your first baby, this could be after bringing multiple babies home, that you are noticing a lot of negative self-talk. You are just noticing yourself, judging yourself, feeling insecure at pediatrician appointments, or in conversations with other moms, or in talking to your in-laws, and how uncomfortable that really makes us feel. It draws up a lot of anxiety and it draws up all of our uncertainties. So in today's episode, I'm going to go through some really key fundamentals of what self-esteem is rooted in and how do we boost our confidence. Here we go. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I am a mom, I am a licensed clinical professional counselor, and a certified perinatal mental health specialist. I have created my entire business around helping moms and moms-to-be help coping through pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood. So I make these videos for you each week so that I can just give you some easy tips, new information for you, things that you can start applying right away to decrease your stress. Today, I'm going to be looking at what is underneath self-esteem, what do we do to boost that confidence in our lives, and how do we feel like we are being successful? So let's go back to what is self-esteem. And if you look at Judith Beck's book about confidence and thinking better to make you feel better, all of those concepts look at three main themes to your confidence or your lack of confidence. So let's pull them apart. So we've got how worthy you feel, how lovable you feel, and how competent you feel. So worth. Let's go back to adolescence, right? Those are some of our most insecure years. As we're trying to find ourselves, as we're trying to see where we fit in, how we belong, pretty awkward years. Our worth can come from things like, am I the best player on my sports team? Did I get the star role in the play? Did I get a good grade on the test when my peers felt like it was an easy test? Those things start to compute in of, do I have worth? Where do I fit in? Lovable. You know what? All of us came from different families. We came from different family styles and different families of attachment. So we may have even gotten some functional or dysfunctional signals of how lovable we were growing up. Maybe there were siblings that we felt like they were loved more, or started dating and you felt like, I'm unlovable. Look at how the other girls around me seem to get easy invites to the prom, and who's looking out and interested in me. So the last category of our self-confidence and our self-esteem is rooted in our identity of competence. And again, this is from all those external messages that we're taking in as data to compute a belief system about ourselves. And the messages, it can be very interesting. It can be one awful message and we lock that in, that must define us. Or trickling in multiple messages of how worthy, how lovable, and how competent we are in situations. But competence is interesting because That is where someone who's striving for perfection and wants to always have the answers and wants to get it all right can really get a lot of signals from around them that they're incompetent, they've made a mistake, there's been a failure, they haven't done well at things. Or somebody who says, gosh, I'm always riding low in their childhood. They were getting poor grades, they messed up in their lines in the play, they went for the final shot in the basketball game and they missed, and they said, see, look at my skills, I don't have any skills, I'm terrible at what I try. That comes in. That becomes a belief system. That becomes what she is constantly now looking for more evidence for or against that. Am I worthy? Am I lovable? Am I competent? So those become hardened core values of a belief system. They become what we now use as a lens to look at our marriage, to look at how we are in the workplace, to look at how we fit in against other moms. So that's going to be kind of the core of what we're going to use today to build off of that to understand how to boost confidence. So let's look at what goes wrong with building our belief system on all those external messages. What goes wrong is that now I am almost more concerned about what they think about me versus what I think about me. Or some women will tell you, I am my worst critic. I am hardest on myself. Those bases of a threshold, how hard we are on ourselves, how much we focus in a day's time in our insecurities. You or girls you grew up with, I'm sure you knew how insecure and thin-skinned versus the thick-skinned reactors, that thin-skinned reactors, we take in all the data. Every look, every glance, every pause, every moment that could give us data as to where our security level should be. If we're more thick-skinned, rolls off. Oh well, too bad that's what you think of me. Or my boss didn't like it, I'll try better another time. I know what I'm doing. So what we want to do is find this healthy balance of, yes, bringing in that external information about where we sit, but we also want to have something internally that's our compass, that draws us back to due north whenever we get off pattern. That way, it's going to give us more consistency in how we see ourselves. You might notice that from insecurities, you've been feeling anxious, increasing in your self-doubt, increasing in where you think you stand. Or are others here to help you? Or are you a burden? Are they loving you and seeing what a great job you're doing? This is all what rolls into our insecurities and our anxiety into new motherhood. Having that new baby, boy, we wish we had a manual. We wish we knew what we were doing. We wish we knew how to follow every cue that the baby had and raise this baby in a beautiful way. But it doesn't go that way. It just doesn't. And I know with my first baby, there was this wish of like, oh, but I'm the oldest of 4. I've been around babies. I've been around big families. I know how to take care of babies. And yet I didn't understand him. He didn't understand me. Oh my gosh. I felt as though we were so off key from each other. And that is a big piece of then where women feel like in the fatigue of new motherhood, in the sleep deprivation of new motherhood, in all the advice coming in, right? Somebody would say, oh, well, I know what's going on, or my baby did that, you'll get over it. I think they're trying to be helpful, oh my gosh, but unfortunately, it is drawing in one of our themes of insecurity. It is pulling us to this place of, oh, there's more evidence. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I'm not competent. So we can take, in-laws' advice when they come over. Oh, well, why are you doing that? Well, who told you that? I say, oh, well, the pediatrician suggested it, and that's why we're going to be doing it with baby. Oh, well, we never did that with the baby. Oh, am I wrong? Am I doing the wrong thing? Right? That's some of that incompetence theme. Or your spouse. He is distracted. He is not interested in listening to you complain again about how hard the night was. And you think, oh, I'm not loved. I'm not getting his empathy and his support. It could be that other theme of worthiness. You're at the pediatrician, you bring in baby, they do a weight check and they say, oh, Mom, did you notice? Has the baby been eating okay? Has the baby been vomiting a lot? There's not much weight gain. We're concerned. And then your worth, your sense of maybe I shouldn't have even become a mother. Look at this, I'm not good at this. Look at how they're telling me that I didn't do a good job and how did I miss that? How did I not notice that? All of that self-talk, that negativity is just pounding within you, and that hits us like a gut punch. You think, how did I even get here? Why do I not even know all this? Why was I so successful in my career and then I'm terrible at knowing the cues of a newborn baby? All of those insecurities. And I call her Judge Judy. If you've seen some of my other videos, I've done videos on self-esteem. I've done videos on self-care habits, ways to decrease your anxiety. Go and check out some of my other videos. But Judge Judy, she sits there and she goes, oh, you're doing it wrong. Why would you do that? Why would you think that's okay? Who told you that that's right? Why are you reading that book? Somebody said not to read that book. Somebody said not to read that advice. Don't do that. Stop doing that. It's overwhelming. All right, so let me jump into, I've got some key tools that I think can undo some of these sabotaging patterns. The first thing we're going to look at is you've got to be aware of your theme. So as you heard me go through some of those examples, both from early childhood and adolescence to now in motherhood, what's my theme? What category do a lot of my insecurities fall under? And you may say, gosh, I was having a terrible week and all three got hit. But in general, is there a specific theme that seems to keep coming up for you? Because that's going to help you to label your thought. So your thought comes in, oh, I messed that up. Oh, I should have known that. Oh, that person's going to not call me back because they think that I'm an idiot. Those thoughts, now you can understand which column do they get assigned to. All right, so be aware of your theme. The second tip is really looking at who am I comparing myself to? Whose voice am I letting in, right? Because we can really value, our mommy friends and our sisters and our parents and anybody who's trying to just advise us or comfort us or help us out. But you have to take a look at, they might be hitting your theme, both because they've been in relationship with you for years and years and years, or because there's something that the way that they look so put together really hits you. And you compare, well, that's not happening in their marriage, or that's not happening at their job when they're taking maternity leave and having to come back and feeling like they've been completely out of the loop and not sure how to jump back into the rhythm of work. And now I'm so sleep deprived. How am I going to do good at getting back to my job and being who I used to be? So taking a look at who is the external triggers coming from. The next tip for how to boost your self-confidence in motherhood and postpartum is really to look at what are the self-talk messages that you have been telling yourself. So you now you've recognized where the external is coming from, but what about that internal? How do you stop sign the message of stop? That's not the facts. That's not what the pediatrician just said to me. I interpreted it, or I tried to filter it through that lens of my belief system. No, my husband's tired. He's not saying he doesn't love me any longer. He's saying he's tired and worn out, and I'm saying I'm tired and burned out. So we have to communicate and find out how we can help each other through that. Competent, worthy, if I feel like, I'm not belonging, they're not inviting me back to that mommy's group, they probably don't like the way I mommy, they don't like my decisions about breastfeeding, maybe that, stop. Let's take a look at the facts and say, maybe that group is not a match for you. And we do want to find other like-minded parents where you feel encouraged by them. You feel boosted up by the people that you're with. But while in the meantime, you're working on your internal self-talk, what you say to yourself and comparing it against the facts. Because that's where your consistent self-esteem is going to be rooted. I tell a lot of moms, I do counseling, my whole counseling practice is about pregnancy and postpartum and motherhood. And in that practice, I have moms write down on a coping card, right? Just take a little piece of paper and repeat to yourself 2 or 3 lines of facts. I am doing my best. I am strong. I am lovable, right? I love Louise Hay. She has all of those great affirmations. There were times in motherhood, I still do this, where I go to her website first thing in the morning and I think, okay, speak to me, bring me this positive message of I am beautiful, my body is amazing, right? Affirmations that help me to shift that internal self-talk. Before we jump into that last tip, if my channel is helpful to you, I would love for you to subscribe and join me each week as I share these tips for pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood. Give it a thumbs up. That shows others that are joining in that this is a liked video, that this has valuable information in it. You can check out some of my other videos as well. This whole channel is about moms and moms-to-be. All right, so let's jump into that last tip. So the last tip is really about getting down to undoing some of that belief system. Because if it's rooted in some really toxic past things, past messages, a jerk boss, a parent that had their own vices and struggles and that trickled down to you, well, we want to break that generational pattern. We want to break that negativity. We want to say it stops here. I'm going to be the messenger of encouragement and optimism and positivity right here. And it starts within me that I can reframe those negative experiences and say, you know what? Was that really what was going on at that time? What was the context of what was happening at those root situations? If you're seeing a therapist, this is great work to get into with your therapist and say, look, I have got some old themes attached to my self-esteem, and in order for me to grow and feel confident on a regular basis, I need to trash those. I really need to rewrite the script of what was happening then and who I've become now. Right? That I am trying my very best, that I am getting the best resources and the best pediatrician and surrounding myself by other positive people so that I really feel like I am encouraged and as strong as I can possibly be going through motherhood. So that's your kind of to-do for today. What are your strengths? Right? We don't focus on those enough. I used to love in school, I went through Catholic schooling all through high school. And one of these beautiful exercises that we would do is the teacher would tell us, write 3 great things that you love about the person to your right. You know, I kept those with me. Those were beautiful messages of how somebody else saw me, right? Maybe I can't see that in myself. If you're struggling, sit down with your spouse or your sister or your best friend and say, hey, can you tell me 3 great things that I'm doing right now? What are the 3 strengths that I have right now? If you can, write them to yourself. Dear Kathryn, this is what you are strong in. This is what you're doing a great job in. That is where I want my focus. That's where I want to start my morning. That's where I want to take on the challenges of the day. So gather those strengths and hold them with you. Put them on Post-it notes. Put them on the memo on your phone. This is who you are, and this is exactly where you are meant to be. You are growing and learning every day. We're in motherhood together. I'm so glad you were here today. We talked about all of the roots of insecurity, what happens in pregnancy and postpartum to shake up that self-esteem, and then what happens going forward to say, I really want to boost my confidence and keep it nice and consistent. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I am a mom of 2 kids. I have built my whole therapy practice as a licensed clinical professional counselor and a certified perinatal mental health specialist, specializing in training in all of these topics so that I can help you and give you the encouragement and the new information that you need to be the best that you can be. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like it, give it that thumbs up. When you ring the notification bell, it means that every Friday as a video loads, it's going to come right into your feed. You don't have to go searching for it. So I hope that helps. Today, take care of yourself.